What's up, Kingdom? You're watching Kansas City Chiefs today, and we've got a Friday update ahead of Chiefs, Ravens. The headline right now: defensive end Mike Danna has been downgraded on the final injury report, and that could shake up Steve Spagnuolo's rotation up front. We're going to break down what it means for the pass rush, for the run defense against Lamar Jackson, and for the chess match on Sunday. If you're new, hit that subscribe because we're pushing to 5,000 subs and you don't want to miss game week fireworks. Before we get rolling, breathe. It's late week news and it matters, but Kansas City has dealt with next man up situations before under Spags. The question isn't panic, it's plan. Let's talk through the plan. Mike Danna is one of those glue guys who doesn't always make the highlight, but he makes the defense work. He's disciplined on the edge, sets a sturdy edge against the run, and converts effort into late down pressures. He understands Spagnuolo's assignments, so you see fewer busts when he's out there. That's the sort of reliability that gets tested when the designation changes on a Friday. Downgraded late in the week usually points to a setback or a response to increased workload in practice. It can change how the Chiefs build their inactives, how they script the first 15, and who takes the first, third, and medium snaps at defensive end. Even if he's active, snap count management becomes a storyline. If he's out, roles cascade quickly across the depth chart. Remember what Baltimore wants to be on offense. They want downhill runs blended with option looks, then play action and movement to put stress on your rules. Lamar Jackson punishes sloppy edges and slow fits. If you're light at defensive end, you can't just rely on interior penetration. You need disciplined contain and smart angles to the quarterback. The first impact hits the edge setting on early downs. Danna is a plus in that department, and his absence forces someone else to handle base downs without giving up explosives on the perimeter. You cannot let the Ravens run game live on bounce outs and quarterback keeps. That's exactly where his steady play usually shows up. The second impact is the four-man rush on known passing downs. Danna's not your primary sack artist, but he's a pocket shrinker. He keeps rush lanes organized so Lamar doesn't escape right into a vacated alley. Without him, you can see the rush get a touch more feast or famine if guys get greedy upfield. The third impact is on stunt and game chemistry. Spagnuolo dials twists that depend on timing between the end and tackle. When you swap personnel late, the mesh on those loops can be a half beat off. Against a quarterback who punishes spacing mistakes, that half beat is the difference between 2nd and 9 and a 30-yard scramble. Special teams and sub-package rotations also ripple. If Danna is limited or down, it can bump someone who normally lives in nickel into a few more base snaps. That, in turn, changes who's fresh for late fourth quarter 2-minute defense. Depth isn't only about the first quarter, it's about the last 5 minutes when the game is there to be won. Now, let's talk names and roles, not just theory. The top edge pieces still need to be tone setters. Your power rusher has to collapse the pocket, your speed rusher has to keep contain and not fly past the arc, and your interior star must command doubles while still threatening the A and B gaps. Linebackers on the edge have to crack and replace without losing eyes on the mesh. So how do you counter Baltimore if the steady edge is compromised? Step 1 is lean into discipline over splash early. Set a hard edge, force give reads, and rally with speed from inside out. Make Lamar live as a pocket distributor before he warms up as a space creator. Patience wins first quarter football. Step 2 is pressure by presentation, not by numbers. Use simulated pressures to show 6 and rush 4, or show 4 and bring 5 from depth. Sugar the A gaps with your linebackers, then bail the weak side end into the flat with a corner fire behind it. The goal is to get free hitters without losing the cage around the quarterback. Step 3 is handoff rules in the rush. If the tackle oversets, the end converts speed to power to collapse, and the tackle loops as the contained player. If Lamar breaks, the looper becomes the interceptor, not the chaser. That's how you keep him bottled while still hunting negative plays. Step 4 is ownership of perimeter force against the run. Safeties must tackle square and violent at 3 yards, not 8. Corners have to crack replace on motion and not get pinned by tight ends. If you lose the edge to their motion game, your linebackers get caught in traffic and your fits unravel. On the other side of the ball, this injury affects the offensive strategy indirectly. If the defense ends up in longer drives and heavier snap counts, you want your offense to grab an early lead and play on schedule. Use tempo bursts, jet motion, and quick game rhythm to make Baltimore chase. A 2-score cushion changes how their offense calls the option game. Let's be real about the fan vibe. When a reliable role player gets a late-week downgrade, the timeline goes to alarm bells. The media will ask whether the pass rush can get home and whether Lamar is about to put on a show with his legs. That's fair, but remember the identity of this defense is more than one name. Spagnuolo's hallmark has been adaptability. He changes fronts, he changes simulated pressures, he changes who the conflict defender is on every third down. Fans should look for signals early. Do the Chiefs set a stubborn edge? Are they tackling in space? And are the rush lanes tied together? If those answers are yes, your confidence should climb by the second quarter. This is also a moment for young players and rotational guys to write a chapter. We love the stars, but seasons tilt on the fourth rusher winning a rep in the fourth quarter. One hurry that turns a deep shot into an overthrow can swing field position and momentum. That's the kind of hidden play Danna often provides. Now it's on someone else to deliver it. Kansas City versus Baltimore has turned into an AFC measuring stick. Seeding doesn't get decided in September, but tiebreakers are born here. A win shifts narrative and math. It also plants the flag that Arrowhead-style football travels in January. If you're monitoring the bigger picture, this is a trench truth game. Can Kansas City win with discipline on the edge and creativity in the rush without every piece of the rotation at full go? Can the offense open the middle of the field and make Baltimore defend grass sideline to sideline? Those answers echo into December. So where do we land? A late-week downgrade for Mike Danna matters because it touches the stuff you don't see unless you're watching closely: leverage, contain, and lane integrity. It raises the degree of difficulty for the front, and it raises the importance of tackling angles at the second level. But this defense has banked trust. They have stars inside, they have edges who can win, they have linebackers who run, and they have a coordinator who can paint with a lot of colors. If you open with poise, play with patient violence, and then pick your moments for pressure, you can put Baltimore into the kind of game Kansas City likes to dictate. On offense, help your defense by owning the script. Start fast, stay multiple, and be ruthless in the red zone. Turn drives into 7s, not 3s, and you cut 10 snaps off your defense's plate by the fourth quarter. That's how you manage the ripple effect of a rotation change. Kingdom, that's the Friday update and the full breakdown. However this shakes out on the inactives, we'll be here post-game with instant reactions and film notes. If you got value from this, like the video and share it with a fellow fan. Drop your takes in the comments and join the road to 5,000 subs here on Kansas City Chiefs Today.